The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 5. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the final issue before the book goes on a temporary hiatus. Maybe it's issue 6. I just know somewhere along the line, Tynan said the book's going to be taking a little bit of a break. Which I understand. This feels like a creative juggernaut of a book, so you're going to have to take your time to make it work. It's kind of insane, honestly, the amount of stuff going on in here. But this issue was really fun. I don't think it's my favorite of the run so far. I do think I liked the last one a little bit more, but I still enjoyed a lot what we're seeing here. So, in this book, we are focusing on Ronnie, and if I'm not mistaken, she is the scientist, and she kind of takes charge of the situation. Like with every issue, we open up on her, and she is talking about the old days when it was her, Walter, Nora, and Reg, and back then, that was before Nora had the change and was still Noah, and they were together, and then we just cut to a flashback, and we see everyone hanging out, and Reg wants to go talk to Noah about something, so it drags him out of the room, leaving Ronnie and Walter to talk by themselves. Basically, this is kind of seeing the weird snap happening in Walter, where he's I didn't think there'd be this many people, and you want to bring more people into this? He's kind of I wasn't planning for more people. I don't think I can have this many people work. There's too many of you. There's so many people I care about and things happening. He starts freaking out. He's literally doing his head is breaking, becoming this weird creature kind of thing right in front of Ronnie, and she's freaking out, but he just has this power. He can make her forget stuff, so she has that memory somewhere in her head. Maybe it could come back in some variety. But basically, Walter just has the ability to change her mind. And it's kind of creepy. So then we cut back to kind of immediately after the last issue, right when David revealed that he can cut his throat and he won't die. Everyone's kind of healing each other up, and Nora kind of steps up, but she's I don't really know what's going on, but maybe if, we started listening to more of what Walter said, we would have learned more of the rules, because now we know we can't die. Maybe there's something else here. And this is where Ronnie kind of steps up, and she goes, okay, so I think we should actually try to recall some of the stuff that Walter said to us our first couple weeks here. Clearly, if we let Nora heal, we could have seen that she can't die. So I think we have to start making a plan of attack and learn some stuff here. So I'm going to ask for a whiteboard, and maybe in the morning we'll be able to get our thoughts jotted down so we can figure out the plan of attack here. And as everyone's trying to coping with this idea that Ronnie's presenting, Rick leaves the pack. He's just going to go walk away by himself. And we see that I believe it's Ryan who follows him. And we see Rick's trying to plead with Walter, dude, just what do you want from me? What do you want me to do? Am I supposed to help them? Am I supposed to do this on my own? What are we doing here, man? Setting up the tension already. Then we see the board that, they got. They're jotting down all their notes. What are we? Is this a human? Is he real? How old is he? What's going on? Things are creepy. He turns into this weird vortex looking thing. They jot down all their symbols. And it's why did he take us? And they're just kind of not just recapping the events of the previous issues, but it's just more there's camaraderie now. All 10 of them are kind of working in unison to get the story together. So we reveal the guns that we found the other day. I believe it was Ryan and... No, it wasn't Ryan and Nora. I think Nora was part of finding him, though. So we reveal the guns we found, and Sam reveals some of the weird symbols and places he found across the stuff. He's yeah, there's another house, a big black house. I believe we should figure out what that is. Some people kind of snap at him for not saying, why didn't you mention another house? But I understand his reasoning, was it really important? I thought it was just some stupid game to occupy our time, and I didn't want to play it, so sorry I didn't bring it up. And everyone's yeah, we got to go to that house. So they get on a boat, they're headed to the house, and this is where Ronnie, being the scientist, also kind of reveals some things, there's supposed to be this meteor shower in the sky happening the weekend we got there. Nothing came about it. So maybe whatever Walter is or whatever people he's working for pushed it aside. And also the stars and the constellations aren't moving, which could indicate this idea that maybe the Earth isn't moving either. So things could be frozen in a permanent stasis on the Earth, and we might have to do something about that. How do we fix something like that from happening? Who really knows? But they start to walk up to this weird house, and everyone's okay, this is weird. What are we going to do? Instantly, David, since he's got a gun, he starts shooting at the building. No effect. Ronnie's okay, well, I guess we should bring out the explosives. So they bring out the explosives, ready to do the next step in the damage, but it doesn't do anything because it's that mysterious house. And it just, again, goes to this great mystery that's building up here. It's cool to see that a story like this, especially like a creator-owned story from a top-tier talent, can just slow down and take the time to tell its story. It's like, okay, we can spend this entire issue not only recapping everything we saw in the previous 4 issues, but just being like, is he alien? What are we going here? We're literally just posing our questions for the first time in issue 5 of this book, and that's pretty impressive to see. So the explosion goes nowhere, but as everyone's just kind of walking around, start to notice their symbols appearing. It's like, hey, my symbol's on like the side of this weird statue, and then like, oh, mine's here too. Suddenly everybody is finding their symbol on the side of like the statues, and there's like, okay, if we all touch it at the same time, will it do something? It doesn't, but Ryan's like, I think we should say something. So it's like, hey, Walter, can you give us the door to the house? And the command works. And suddenly from inside this house, this figure runs outside and jumps into Nora's arms like, you guys, finally, I thought you would have got here quicker, but I'm just glad you got here at all. You gotta trust me, man. Like, this is great to see everybody. Oh, man, we don't have a lot of time, but trust me, what we gotta do it fast. Let's get together. And I was like, what are you talking about? What is this? It's like, dude, we gotta go save the world. And we see that it is Reggie, the guy that's kind of like the connective tissue outside of Walter. He brought people together. He's like, you know, a cooler guy, but he was, for some reason, put in a different area than the rest of them, which makes you question what is up with this guy. Maybe he is also part of the Walter species, but he does have his own symbol, making him the 11th member of this, I don't know, dodecahedron, whatever you call like the 10-sided thing. Cool. That's pretty exciting. I wonder what his connection is going to be to the story. So the reveal that Reggie's here now, that's kind of fun. That's interesting. It adds, you know, some more dynamic with like Nora and Ronnie and all of them just doing some interesting stuff there. And overall, this issue, pretty cool. You know, I won't say it's my favorite of the bunch or it's the strongest to come out of this run, but it just finally posed all the questions I think we've been needing just to like see what's going to be answered. It literally lays out like, here's some of the stuff we're going to be answering as shit goes on in the book. All of our characters are kind of on the same terms right now, which means we are a collective unit. We can get stuff done that way and figure out what Walter truly is about in this. Very exciting. And I think it works really well for what the story is going to be. So I can't complain about that. It works well enough that it's just interesting stuff. And I'm enjoying Ronnie. Again, I don't think she's my personal favorite character that we are seeing in this book. So far, I think it's David, just because that's exactly how I'd act in this kind of situation. I like it, and I'm enjoying what this was. I cannot wait to see what happens next in this weird book. It's amazing, and it's so unbelievable that something this bizarre can have such longevity and be something cool later on. I think that's amazing. So, The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 5. I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.